So finally we get to our last topic on pivot tables, which is charts. So let's insert, but this time instead of inserting a pivot table, we come over here and select pivot chart. And you can have just a chart by itself, but I'm going to insert both a pivot chart and a table all in one worksheet, like so. Now I have an empty chart and an empty table. And let's throw customers, the usual customers, on the axis, and sales like that. And we get a bar chart right off the bat. Let's turn this into money. Okay. Now we've got customers down here like so. And look there's sort of a built-in filter here to allow you to select just a few of the customers, for example. And when you change that filter, that changes up here as well. That's exactly the same as if I had done it up here. See that? So I can add Euclid Products and Ellison and get a couple more customers in like that. As you can see, it's very quick and easy. And they are completely in sync. When I make a change on the chart, it applies to the table and vice versa. You can filter on this. So let's take color and drop it in the filter section like so. And now I can show just blue, for example. And I'm filtering on color. Now I can see the word here, and I got a color filter there, but nothing on the chart tells me that it's in blue, so that's kind of a disadvantage. I can add a slicer. Let's get rid of that filter. And excuse me, let's add a slicer on a color. So I'll drop this in and select color and click on OK, and I get a slicer over here. And now I can just see beige, for example. Again, nothing's showing up on the chart, so you need to have the slicer nearby for people to see what's going on. If I want to see just copper, these kinds of things sort of makes the data putty in your fingers. You can manipulate it very easily with a slicer and a chart like that. You can see what's going on. So let's get rid of the slicer. I'm just going to click on it and press the delete key. And let's go back here. I've already gotten rid of the filter. And let's look what happens when you use the columns function over here. So let's take, right now we have, let's get rid of the filter on customer, and we'll select all the customers here. So we're back to the way we were initially. I'm going to get rid of the, no, I'm going to leave the legend. Let's add sales rep in the legend like so. Now we get a much busier chart. I'm going to close the field so we can see what's going on here better. It shows what customers sold to what were sold by which sales reps. I don't like that chart. Let's change things a little bit. Let's bring back the field buttons and get our field list back. And let's get rid of sales rep from the legend and put size in instead. That's probably a little bit easier to understand piece of data. So now we get a clustered column chart that shows size. So the large is the little blue at the bottom. The medium is the red, and the small. So this is a clustered column like we saw when we were looking at charts. The important thing about what's going on here is you can make all the usual changes that we were used to with charts. In terms of design, I can change the chart type to a stacked column like that if I want to. If I'm interested in proportions, I could turn it, let's try changing it into a pie chart like so. Now I'm looking at the customers, and I'm going to get rid of size on the legend because that doesn't make sense in a pie chart. So I can do this kind of thing, manipulating the data very easily, just like we were able to with charts, but now I've got a table to go along with it. So you can pair up charts and tables and show either one. Remember that when we did the insert over here before, let me go back to the sales orders, and when we did this, we could have just inserted a chart by itself, but I chose to do the pivot table as well. You can do them either way. So that wraps up the pivot table topic.